Hey everybody, Panther0822 here. It is din time with the Panther time. Give me a few minutes, I'm going to share this out. I hope everybody had a good Monday. And I'll be going over how my Monday was here in a minute, so... If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that bell icon and hit the subscribe button so you guys get notified when I upload, because I do vlogs 7 days a week and I do gameplay at least 5 days a week, so... Although this is doing an update, so that might create a little bit of an issue. Alright, where'd my mouse go? There it went. Alright. There's a lot of stuff. I really should probably invest in that. But... well, I'll restart the computer here after I'm done with the vlog, so and I'll stay here so I can actually see the chat. Alright, so we've got all of that. Because this is... Well, I guess I'm gonna, that's about as much as as much as I'm gonna get in this particular view, so let's, change my view out here so I can change something else. Well, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to. That's alright. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Panther0822. It is din time with the Panther. So for those of you who aren't familiar, this is my nightly vlog series that I do. So, and for the most part, I really just use it as a way to kind of talk about the day, how I've been. The main reason for it, though, is because I have multiple sclerosis, and I kind of do it as kind of a daily catalog. As far as how I'm feeling, how the day went, and then I also use it as a way to kind of let you guys know what's going on as far as upcoming events or upcoming games, or you are so totally in the wrong playlist. And that's what I use it for, so there we go. Since I'm back out to here and we can share this, we'll share this. Actually, we're going to do this in a different way. We're going to do this on the page that I manage. What we're going to do is that. And then we're gonna post it there. There we go. So I apologize for the quality being kind of basically a little subpar. Unfortunately, it's not really the camera. The camera's a good camera. The camera I'm using is a Canon Rebel T3i. So I mean, it's a good camera. A lot of the issue that I deal with is actually the fact that I am using a tower, and the tower, because I've not had the money to invest in an independent graphics card, is all running everything off of a centralized motherboard. So motherboard, audio card, video card, RAM, everything's all on one motherboard. Not necessarily a bad thing, but for what I'm trying to do, it can create issue at times. So so I apologize for kind of the sub quality on that, but there's really not much I can do about that until I can get a new card. Speaking of which, there's a Patreon link down on the bottom that if you guys want to help me out as far as getting better equipment and being able to support me, hit that Patreon link and choose a donation amount that works for you, and hit that donate button. So, speaking of which, is one of these Patreon, maybe? I don't think one of these is Patreon. Maybe I'm wrong. I think that's Pinterest. Yeah. That's Pinterest. That's okay. All right. So, well, I guess we should get into it, mainly because I'm tired and I really don't want to waste any more real time than I've already wasted as far as like sharing this out and whatnot. So, I guess something fucked up. Oh, YouTube's page stopped responding. That's what was fucking up. Let's try reloading the frickin' page. Actually, I've got something else I can do. Anyways, I guess I should bother to actually talk about and kind of do the vlog as it is. So, anyways, how was the day? Overall, the day was actually pretty solid. Really didn't have too much of an issue. Had a little bit of an outburst earlier. Honestly, I can't really remember what it was or what it was about. I just know that I did have a bit of an issue earlier today as far as my temper goes. Unfortunately, it kind of comes with the territory as far as the MS goes, so... Oh, that's what it was. The wife and I have spent a lot more money today than what we had intended. That's what it was. Yeah, we the wife and I had for our trip initially just a few short weeks ago, we had about $400 or $500 in our lockbox set aside for the trip, and now we've got $100. And as much as I am going to get annoyed about this, there's a high likelihood that we may end up having to touch that $100 to make sure that we've got dog food or something by the end of the week, which makes me even more upset in its own way. Mainly because that money was money that we specifically had intended and set aside for our trip. Now, that being said, this trip is going to happen regardless, even if that means I'm risking our rent, or more specifically, even if it means I have to short our rent by a few $100s in order to make this happen. That's what it means. I was just hoping to avoid that. And I mean, there's nothing to say that something won't come through, and and I mean, honestly, I have great faith that everything's going to work out and everything's going to be a blessing, and our trip to Florida is going to be awesome, and there's going to be positive things that are going to happen. That being said, right now, at the moment, the wife and I are we're a little nervous. We're kind of a little bit in crunch mode right now, so just a little frustrated because we had money set aside for this. We had a good pool. I mean, we basically had approximately 90% of the hotel cost set aside, and now we don't. So, but like I said, yeah, my wife and I both believe that this is everything's gonna work out, and we're gonna be fine at once. So. Although, honestly, one of the ways you guys can help with that is there are links down in the bottom. There's a U-Carrying link that are down in the bottom. You can hit that link, and you guys can donate, and that would honestly help us get out there as far as Florida goes, and would be a very large blessing. And then, if you're here in Eatonville, my wife does the karaoke, and we've got a tip jar set up there, and you can support us locally if you live here in Eatonville and go to the poorhouse. So, I mean, there's ways, if you're local or non-local, either way, there's ways to support us either direction. So, just find the way that works best for you, and any and all help's always appreciated. So, but overall, today was better than yesterday. Yesterday, I spent most of the day just sleeping, although that was because Saturday was very emotionally and physically draining. Saturday, I was trying not to focus on the negative, and it wasn't working. Because more or less, if there was something that could have gone wrong Saturday, it pretty much did, which made me very frustrated. I run sound, I guess amateurly or professionally, depending on how you view it. But I've been running Pro Audio. I've been running sound on and off for 5 years, somewhere around there. And I learned from a very good friend of mine who professionally and who does it for a living, and he's been doing it far longer than I have. So, my principle when it comes to sound is you should hear the sound, but you should not. It's kind of the reverse. Opposed to you should be. In my particular case, I should be heard, not seen. And anytime there's a technical issue, I become seen as far as the technician, and it becomes an issue. So, my focus has always been to keep the focus on whatever the event is. So people should be coming to me and basically be going like, "Hey, you're doing an awesome job," or things like that. I should be seen as "Hey, you're doing a great job," not "Hey, why is the speaker crapping out on you," or why are we having this tech issue? That's not good. That's not professional, and I get very upset and very frustrated when I have those types of issues. And unfortunately, Saturday was one of those days. So, and I'm still kind of frustrated and annoyed as far as that goes, just because it just, on a professional level, it bugs me. It really does. So. But the event's passed, and there's really not anything I can do about it other than find out why my equipment was crapping out on me and then find a way to fix it. And unfortunately, when it comes to pro audio gear, it's not necessarily a matter of fixing your gear, it's a matter of replacing your gear, because most of the time, in order to fix your gear, you might as well just buy new gear. Unless you're dealing with a high-end speaker, and the speakers I'm dealing with aren't high-end speakers, they're altos. I mean, they're good speakers for what they are, they're good speakers, but honestly, for their price, for the repair price, usually $50 to $80. For $80, I can buy a used speaker. I hate used gear, but just pay $80 to repair what I have, or $80 to get a new item, or a relatively new item. So it's kind of a toss-up at that point. But when you're dealing with something like a QSE speaker, you're dealing with like a $500, $600 speaker, and it costs you $80 to $100 to get it fixed. you get it fixed, because it's just at that point the price to get it fixed is far cheaper than it is to replace the item. So that's basically what's kind of going on as far as that goes. So I was able to get the gameplay up today, which reminds me I need to upload that to Twitch. So let's see here. I may have to hunt for the video a different way. Give me a minute, guys. It's not important for me to do it now, it does need to happen though. So anywho, let's come back to YouTube here and see if you guys have thrown any comments my way. Maybe I can answer those comments for you. I did my Dragon Age playthrough today, so you guys should go and check that out. Yeah, okay, no comments or questions for me, at least not at the moment, so that's okay. So today is KOTOR, so at some point today, because it's officially Tuesday, I'm going to be continuing along in our KOTOR playthrough of Knights of the Old Republic 1. And then once I finish that, I'll be moving on to the second game. So I'm still pretty early on in the first game though, so I'm not anticipating moving on to the second game. Oh, the stream's just not terribly strong. That's what's going on. I'm not planning on moving on to the second Knights of the Old Republic probably until the beginning of next year, mainly because there's just a lot of gameplay, and with only playing it 2 days a week for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, there's only so much you can get through in that amount of time. So we'll get through as much as we can, as quick as we can, but I'm not anticipating getting to the second game until probably sometime till the beginning of the year. So, speaking of the beginning of the year, I know I've told people this, but just to kind of restate the point, the wife and I will be moving on to another place into January. Our lease is up here January, into January, so January 30th or 31st, I don't remember, but either way, into January our lease is up and we'll be moving. We're very heavily set as far as probably Texas, as far as that destination goes. There's a possibility we may end up going back to Colorado, mainly because a very good friend of ours is there. Hell, who am I kidding? I've known him long enough, and he's basically family. So, well, adopted family at least. So, so yeah, so Colorado is a possibility. We may be going back to the Springs but that's not, I mean, honestly, right now, nothing's really 100%. The only 100% we really have at this point is that we're not staying here at, come winter this is up. That's about the only thing we really actually know. Anything past that at this point, we just don't know. It's up in the air right now, so we've got to feel it out and figure that out. We've got some very strong feelings and inklings as far as where that destination is going to be, but life is strange. That changes at any point. So, if we move back to Colorado, it'll definitely be back to the Springs. Well, I should say definitely back to the Springs. Just very high likelihood it will be the Springs. Very slight possibility it might be somewhere else. We'll see. The wife and I really enjoy kind of the small town attitude as far as Eatonville goes, but we may do something else. We'll see. Again, I don't know. That's really what it boils down to. Is I just don't know. So, anyways, I can feel that I'm starting to ramble a little bit and losing focus a little bit. So, kid, just really wanted to let you guys know how I'm doing, where I'm at, and whatnot. So that's kind of where things are at. If you guys have any questions for me, put it in the comments down below, and I will return those comments as quickly as I see them and be able to respond to them. I'm usually pretty good about the speed at which you respond. That being said, it might take me a little bit, and depending on what you ask me, I might have to think about it for a day or two before I respond, depending on what the question is. So it might take me a day or two to think about the question and then think about how to respond to it or something like that. So don't be afraid, put something in the comments. I'll definitely respond to it in some way, shape, or form.